You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. And if what you are is built on fear, on doubt, on scarcity, then that is the signal you send. Not just to people, but to life itself, because your energy never lies. It speaks louder than your words, louder than your actions. It's the silent blueprint behind every result you create. And most people don't understand this. They try to manifest from the mind while the heart still carries shame. They speak affirmations while their nervous system screams, "I'm not enough." They visualize abundance but still identify as someone struggling to be seen. You can't fake energy. You can't decorate insecurity with positive thinking and expect transformation. This isn't about surface changes. This is about deep internal rewiring. Because true attraction happens when you remove the noise, when you finally get quiet enough to meet yourself. Not the self you show the world, not the self that's always performing, always proving, but the self behind the masks, the one who's been waiting to be chosen by you, waiting to be acknowledged by you, waiting to be loved, not conditionally, but radically by you. And let's be honest, that's the reason most people keep chasing others, because they've never stopped long enough to chase themselves, to sit with their wounds, to meet the broken parts they tried to hide in relationships, to understand the unmet needs driving their patterns. But when you do, when you finally slow down and go inward, everything begins to shift. Because you're no longer outsourcing your wholeness. You're no longer addicted to attention as proof you exist. You begin to realize the real power is in your stillness. And I want you to feel this deeply. Stillness is not weakness. It is the place where the old self dies and the real self is born. Stillness is where you stop chasing and start attracting. Because now you're not trying to convince anyone. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're not trying to win anyone. You're simply being. And that kind of presence is magnetic. It draws people to you not because you need them, but because you don't. Not from arrogance, from alignment. People can feel the difference between desperation and direction. They can feel when your boundaries come from clarity instead of defense. They can feel when your energy is rooted, anchored, grounded, not shaking in fear of being alone, but standing tall in the awareness that you are already whole. This is the new frequency. And once you're in it, you'll never chase again, because you'll finally realize everything you thought you needed from others, you had to give to yourself first. That approval, that sense of worth, that feeling of enoughness, it was never theirs to give you. It was your own permission you were waiting for. So here's the shift. Instead of asking, why don't they see me? Ask, where am I still refusing to see myself? Instead of wondering, why aren't they choosing me? Ask, where have I not yet chosen myself fully? Because the moment you choose you, the moment you truly, unapologetically choose you, life starts to choose you back. Opportunities appear, connections deepen, doors open. Not because you forced them, but because you finally match the frequency of the life you say you want. This is attraction. This is energetic alignment. This is why you've been stuck, not because you weren't worthy, but because your identity was still wired to your past, to pain, to patterns, to stories you outgrew but never questioned. And now is the time to let it all fall away. Every limiting belief, every old self-image, every illusion that says you need them to feel whole. You don't. You need you. Your energy, your commitment, your truth. This is how you become magnetic. Not by chasing validation, but by becoming the kind of person who doesn't need it. Because the moment you stop chasing others, you become the thing they chase. Not because you're trying to, but because you're finally whole. So here's your reminder. Every time you focus inward, you sharpen your signal. Every time you say no to what drains you, you expand your field. Every time you choose peace over performance, you deepen your power. And that power, it doesn't scream, it doesn't chase, it doesn't beg. It simply exists. And in that existence, it attracts everything that is meant for it. So now the question becomes, who do you need to become to attract the life you've been praying for? Because the answer is not in chasing. It's in becoming. Let's go there next. Let's go deeper into the identity shift, into the inner transformation, into becoming the version of you who never chases again. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say something to you right now that most people are too afraid to hear. You are not born to chase anything. Not people, not approval, not attention, not love, not validation. You were born to become something. You were born to become a force, to become the kind of presence that doesn't beg for a seat, it builds the table. You were born to be energy in motion. And when your energy is aligned, everything that is meant for you will feel you coming. Stop chasing people. You don't need to explain your worth to someone who hasn't yet discovered theirs. You don't need to water yourself down just to be digestible to those who are starving for depth but afraid of drowning. You are not meant to be the echo of someone else's desire. You are the frequency. You are the signal. And the moment you shift your focus inward, you start to attract on a level that can't be faked. Because chasing energy is survival. But radiating energy, that's creation. It's no longer about needing someone to understand you. It's about you understanding you so deeply that anyone who doesn't match that understanding quietly fades away. Let me say this clearly. Attraction doesn't begin with wanting, it begins with being. You must become the thing you wish to experience. You must feel it before it shows up. You must vibrate at the level of the life you say you want, and that means cutting off the version of you who was built in desperation. Because let's be honest, that old version of you, the one who chased, the one who over-explained, the one who begged, the one who feared being alone, that version was never attracting, only exhausting. You don't lose people when you stop chasing. You lose distractions. You lose noise. You lose confusion.